I breathe from the edge of the universe. 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 Ah, that's good. So cool.
So one of the things that we really want you to consider as you begin this journey is to understand that you are about to learn the best of the best. Those skills and talents and abilities that will enable you to be the best at what you have chosen to be as an artist. And along with that journey, along with that technical exploration, is the importance of understanding that inner journey, you know? It's like as we dig into a character, or as we dig into a script, or as we look at the world, and this is something that I believe that Stella Adler really wanted us to all learn, is how to see the world in a different way with another set of eyes that enables us to dig down deep and really bring forth that authenticity that makes the difference between just delivering lines and truly delivering an experience. So we'll agree that we're going to breathe deeper and breathe that breath in. And I mean, it's really helpful. I mean, just from a technical standpoint of view. When you're relaxed, you breathe from your diaphragm. You take that breath in, you utilize that breath. Everyone in the theater will hear you. Everyone in the theater will feel you. And that's the mastery of what we do. We don't just want to be heard, we want to be felt. But along that way, we don't want to give up ourselves in the journey. We want to feel it ourselves. We want to be strong ourselves. Within us, oftentimes, lies that wisdom that takes us to the place that we want to get to. Helps us to communicate in the way that we want to communicate. So we take that breath from the edge of the universe, we take it in, we fill ourselves with that fullness. We also fill ourselves with a universal sense of oneness. I mean, I've traveled all over the world, as these gentlemen have. And we've been oftentimes in situations that were tense. But I've never been anywhere in the world where people were so angry at each other that they did this. And refused to breathe the air. Because we need that. It's a gift. So we use that breath for relaxation, for centeredness, for the ability to be able to communicate, but also for the nurturing of ourselves. Another thing I learned from one of my great teachers was this whole concept of inner wisdom. You know, we talk about intuition, but, you know, many of the indigenous cultures, they talk about that inner wisdom, that, you know, the wisdom lies within us. Another one of our teachers, his name was Baba Kuyate. He was the 149th Jali in the line of the Jali tradition in Senegal. And so the Jali tradition, and the Jalis are the keepers of the history, the keepers of the wisdom, the tellers of the story. So just like here, when we come together to learn things in a group in West Africa, the tradition is the people would gather under the largest tree, right? The largest tree in the community is where the community would come together to gather. And they would gather there oftentimes to be remembered or to learn new history or to come together to share wisdom, to commune together. And the Jali would be sort of the leader of that. So in order to get the Jali, who oftentimes lived on a hut right on the outside of the village, they would call to the Jali. And they would say, "Eh Jalia, aleleka Jaliada," which essentially means Jali, teller of the stories, keeper of the wisdom. Come and share with us. Help us to convene, right? Help us to come together so that we can learn beyond our heads, where we can merge our heads in our hearts. Okay? Call and response. Eh Jalia,
Eh Jalia,
aleleka Jaliada,
aleleka Jaliada,
Eh Jalia,
Eh
Jaliada.
Aleleka Jaliada.
Jalia.
Jalia.
Jaliada.
Aleleka Jaliada.
Jalia. Jaliada.
Aleleka Jaliada.
Lies deep within us, this wisdom, this knowingness that's ancient, don't you know? So as you ignite that breath that opens you up wider and wider, here inside is where the wisdom is, you know. Ever heard this term? I felt it in my gut. Huh? You ever hear that term? I don't know, I just felt it in my gut. That's that wisdom inside. So the ancients knew all that inner wisdom, but they start by saying, Jalia, Jalia,
Jalia.
Jalia, got that breath from the edge of the universe, and now we have this understanding that there abides within us this inner wisdom. In many ways, it's ancient, you know. We know that there's a consciousness that exists inside of us, and oftentimes when we get beyond the scope of what we seem to feel that we know with our minds, we want to link up with a knowingness, an inner knowingness, a feeling. Some of the great masters teach that the longest distance traveled is the distance between the head and the heart. The longest distance traveled between what we think we know and what we feel, and how do we bring those two things together? I submit to you that you will have that experience many times on this journey of art, as actors, as artists, to understand, to feel on another level, to sometimes trust that gut and allow yourself to really connect to that. You know, in the classical theater, interestingly enough, you know, I spend a lot of time now singing and talking and making noise. But really, the core of my learning is I spent 7 years studying and in a classical pantomime company. So for 7 years, I did no singing at all. I just did nonverbal communication, right? And the thing is, I learned so much about the power of sound through communicating through silence. And most of the time, that noise, that conversation, it's not the conversation that you're having with other people, it's the conversation that's going on up here inside of your head. But the inner wisdom, the inner heart, it helps to pull all that together. And the lessons that we learn from the inside out, as we enter the stage and develop, we know it, there's an inner knowingness. So you got that shared breath, and you got the Jalia, the wisdom, the inner wisdom, to call on that inner wisdom, and feel free to do that. So I invite you to hold on to that little phrase, Jalia,
Jalia,
Aleleka Jaliada,
Aleleka Jaliada.
Or if you forget that, you can say, oh, wisdom inside.
Oh, wisdom inside.
Come help me, I'm about to die.
Come help me, I'm about to die.
Oh, wisdom inside.
Wisdom inside.
I need you tonight.
I need you
So
tonight.
it's really about cultivating that inner garden and knowing that it's not all out there. That's really, really inside. And you know what? You can do that without losing that sense of self. But you gain a greater sense of connection and commonality and recognizing that you don't always have to have the answers. But here's the cool thing. You know, you're on a journey to explore, to be the best artist that you can be, the best person that you can be. And how many people here love the theater? Imagine that. How many people here love themselves? Okay, good. So here's the deal. I'm going to play a little game with you. It's a little song. Imagine another song. Every time you hear me say your name, I want you to say your name. Okay? Yeah. Sarah. Say your name.
Eric.
What? Say your name.
Eric.
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 Now, can you feel the joy in that? Can you feel the joy in your name? Because most of us are used to hearing our name being called when we done done something wrong, or somebody wants something. And so, there's that, remember that head-heart thing. Oftentimes we get a little disconnected from that. But everyone's name is really, really beautiful. So what is your name?
Rachel.
Rachel. Okay, so Rachel, when I say, what is your name, I want you to say, my name is Rachel. Okay. What is your name?
My name is Rachel.
Rachel, oh Rachel, what a beautiful soul you are. There's no light in the world like the light in your eyes. Rachel, I feel your heart. I see you, Rachel. And everyone in this room knows you, feels you, and we honor you. Rachel. How'd that feel?
That's nice. That's cool.
So when I say what is your name, you say my name. What is your name?
My name is Leslie.
Look at that smile, Leslie. Look at that smile, Leslie. Look at those eyes, Leslie. I can feel you, Leslie. Shaking, shaking on the inside. Shaking, shaking on the inside. But you're glowing like a light. Yes, you are. Love yourself. That's not a bad thing. You are created unique and beautiful like no one else in the world. What's your name? David. So when I say what's your name? Say what's your name? Say my name is David. My name is David. He's already So this is the point. This gentleman right here is one of the finest actors that I have ever met in my life. And that measure of vulnerability that he just shared with you is the light. It's the key. And we never get too far away from that vulnerability. And that's okay. That's what makes this journey so special. We have a tremendous opportunity to realize so much about our lives and to touch the world in a way that's never been touched before. And you're going to do it right here at Stella Adler. Why? Because it's meant to be. You're meant to be here for oh so many reasons. Far many more than you realize now, but at the end you'll be like, whew, yeah. Right? Say your name. Oh,
Eric.
come on.
Eric.
David. Say your name.
Eric.
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 Experience that you need with every breath you take to know that you can be a part of the whole. Feel it. Whisper your name. Whisper your